From New Hampshire, Ms. Goodlander.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today, particularly to you, General Kurilla and General Langley. I want to thank you for your incredible service to our country, and I will miss you very much as a new member on this committee, so thank you for everything you've done. General Kurilla, I want to take you back to 2022, your confirmation hearing when you testified that Iran, the Iranian regime, is the #1 destabilizing force in the Middle East. Is that still?
Still remains the #1 malign influence in the Middle East.
Thank you for that. You know, you in your written testimony, you testified that Iran's nuclear threat, its best chance at restoring deterrence and imposing its will on the region is its nuclear threat. And you also testified that Iran has virtually doubled its enrichment capacity in the past 6 months, which is extremely alarming, I think, to everybody on this committee. And I just want to say at the outset that we are committed on a bipartisan basis to taking action on this issue. I'm proud to be supporting the Enhanced Iran Sanctions Act of 2025, and we welcome the Pentagon's help in advising Congress as we think through every tool that can be used to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. I want to ask you, General, about, as many of my colleagues have, the other pillar of the threat Iran poses, its funding for terrorist groups, and particularly the Houthis. So last month, the president reached a ceasefire agreement with the Houthis, the terrorist organization, the Houthis. I wanted to ask you the goal of that ceasefire agreement and the terms of the agreement.
So when the president gave the mission to CENTCOM, it was a very specific mission. On March 10th, he said, I want the Houthis to quit shooting at our ships. That was the mission that was given to us. For 51 days, we pounded the Houthis. They were screaming to all of our partners in the region, to include the Omanis, to get the Americans to stop pounding them. And so they came and said, we will quit shooting at you if you quit shooting. We will stop shooting at you if you quit shooting at us. That met the president's goal.
So stop shooting at American ships.
That was the specific goal that was given to me.
Understood. And the goal is to restore freedom of navigation in this important part of the world where so much of global commercial shipping depends upon the freedom of navigation.
30% of all container traffic.
So has commercial shipping resumed?
So that will be more of a lagging indicator when the insurance rates come down. We just did a freedom of navigation with 4 warships over the last week. Nothing was shot at them. We also had multiple other countries' frigates, and the UK destroyer went through there. I think you will see over time, as long as the conditions exist. Deterrence is always temporal. As long as those conditions exist and the insurance rates come back down, it's a 2-week faster transit to go through the Red Sea and the Suez than to go around the Cape of Good Hope. But right now, a shipping industry is looking at it, as long as the insurance rates stay high, they will choose to go a different route. And so that's going to be a lagging indicator.
So how long do you expect it will take for commercial shipping to resume?
I think you'll see us start to escort some other U.S. flagged ships, and I think others will start to go through there as well over time, as long as the conditions exist.
Thank you, General. Well, as you know well, the cost of this lagging indicator is very real for the American people. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record an article dated June 5th, Red Sea passage remains a no-go for shipping despite U.S. action.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. General, I want to ask you about, well, first of all, so our goal was to protect American ships. Our goal was not to protect our ally Israel, and we are seeing an escalation in the conflict between the Houthis and our ally Israel. You've testified to some of the things we can do to help mitigate that threat to our ally. But I just want to say for the record that this, you have said well that this is a threat that's metastasizing. It's a regional scourge, and the United States cannot give up on this.
We are still protecting Israel, though we have THAAD battery there that is shooting down Houthi missiles, and we shoot down Houthi UAVs that are going towards Israel.
Thank you. General, I was very interested, and I'll be submitting more questions for the record, in what you said about what CENTCOM could do to help deliver humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Can you tell us what resources CENTCOM has to bear towards what I think we can all agree is a really important mission?
So I think that the biggest resources that CENTCOM can assist with is the ground lock is where you move large quantities of that. We assisted the Jordanians in scanning all of their trucks before they went in, and that met the Israeli security concerns of any trucks going in, and we delivered.
Generally,
100
time's
million
expired. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman